Hello beautiful people, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and in today's video I am going to be discussing my favorite bullet journal supplies with you guys and, when possible, some cheaper alternatives for those of us on a budget or new to bullet journaling. Either way, they're just really great alternatives at a lower price point that I would also highly recommend. Without any further ado, let's hop right in. The first supply that I want to talk to you guys about is, of course, the bullet journal itself. Now, this is the journal that I'm currently in, although I did just finish it up in the month of August, so starting next month I will be in a new journal, which I will discuss with you in a moment. This is the Archer and Olive A5 size. It is blue, it is cloth bound, as you can see. It is very nice. I believe they are 160 GSM pages. Either way, they are thick, very nice, and I love them dearly. They're great for watercolors, for water-based markers, anything you want to do with these will withstand, most likely. These are definitely going to be on the pricier side. There will be stats up on the screen for each of the products that I'm holding up, and there will also be links down in the description where applicable. I love these. I would highly recommend these for anyone, but I do understand that they are pricey, so I have two similar options for you guys. One is at a slightly lower price point, and one is at an incredibly lower price point. Now, as I said, I am moving into a new journal starting next month, and this is that journal. This is the Notebook Therapy size A5 bullet journal. I am very excited to try out this brand. I've never used their journals before, but from what I can tell, it is of a very similar quality to the Archer and Olive. I believe they're also 160 GSM pages. I love the design on the cover, and it's got a cute little design on the spine, gilded pages, the whole 9 yards. It was great, and it came with a cute little paper clip. So that's fun. I do think that this is a good quality journal for a slightly lower price than the Archer and Olive for a very similar, if not the same quality. And from what I could tell, there was also a lot more options for different designs and the covers of the notebook than Archer and Olive has. This had a lot more unique designs, and I am very excited to try this out. At an incredibly lower price point, I have the Scrivwell Journal, again size A5. I swear by this size, it's great. This journal retails on Amazon or on the Scrivwell website for about $10 a journal. While they don't have fun designs, they do come in a bunch of different colors, and you can decorate the cover however you want. As you can see, I did this one. It is faded and old, very well loved. Pages are not quite as thick as the other two, but they did still hold up to my watercolor. I just had to be a lot more conservative with my water usage, and they work just as well for the water-based markers. I do recommend these, especially for beginners, people on a budget, anyone looking to not spend $30 on a journal. Scrivwells are for you. Now, if you have been in the bullet journal community for any amount of time, you will know that these are everybody's holy grail in terms of adding color to your journal, and that is going to be the Tombow dual brush pens. These are great for calligraphy. They come in a whole skew of different colors. They have two ends. They have the calligraphy brush end and the sketch end. This little thin thing here. These are really great for tiny details, or if you want to do, instead of brush calligraphy, just straight calligraphy. Love the variety and usability that you get with these. This is kind of just a little very surface level thing that I love about them. The caps will fit perfectly on one another, so the small one fits into the big one, and the big one fits over the small one. It's fun. I love it. It's very convenient for usage because I lose caps all the time. However, these do retail at, I believe, $3 to $4 a marker, which is not very cheap when you're buying a lot of markers at one time. So if you're on a budget like me and you don't want to blow all of your hobby money on Tombow dual brush pens, the Crayola Supertips are a great alternative. They only have one end, but it is very versatile. You can use it for calligraphy in a very similar fashion to the brush pen if you angle it correctly, and you can always do the faux calligraphy where you just draw the lines and then fill it in, but they're still pretty versatile. They look honestly not that different from the Tombows. They have a whole bunch of colors, and while they don't sell individual markers, they sell a 100-pack for like 20 bucks, and you can get them at your nearest Walmart. In terms of fine liners, I use a couple of different ones depending on what I need. Usually I will use my Tombow Fudenosuke. They have the hard tip and the soft tip. I love these things to death. They're so versatile in terms of the line width that you get, and they're great for simple calligraphy. I am a huge fan of these, and I am forever addicted to them. They are my favorite pen of all time. However, sometimes I just need detail that I can't ensure with this one because the line width is so variable, so I do have a selection of fine liners that I use. My go-to is the Faber Castell Pitt artist pens. These are incredible. I love them. I love how they fit in my hand, and I just honestly prefer these to the Microns. However, sometimes I will use the Microns. I have found that the tips tend to split on me a lot though, so I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I have a couple and I use them occasionally, but usually Faber-Castell is my go-to when I can't use my Tombow Fudenosuke. But if you are not quite ready to break your bank on these yet, I don't have one with me, but the Sharpie fine liners are great. You do have to be careful not to build them up because it is a Sharpie and it will bleed through if you do too much, but the fine liners are pretty good about not doing that. And the Sharpie gel ink pens, those are great too. I love those things and they're super cheap. Price points are on the screen. I don't remember, but I remember it was not near what these are. And they are a super dark black ink for outlining, and they are very thin. They're great. That is a good alternative for these. A couple of things that I don't have an alternative for are going to be these metallic pens. I love metallic, so this is more of a personal choice for me, but I do find myself using these very frequently. My Uniball Signo Gold Gel Pen is a must-have for me. This thing works wonders. The silver is also very addicting to use. Jelly Roll ink pens are a similar price, but they're also pretty good. I just prefer how these write. The next bullet journal supply that I have isn't technically a bullet journal supply, it's just something that I use frequently in my bullet journal, and that is my watercolors, because I love doing watercolor in my journal. And these are the Koi watercolors pocket field sketch box. If I open it up, there are 20 colors in this set, and you can see it comes with a little mixing pan that I need to clean out, and then some brush sponges. There's 20 colors, and as you can see, this palette is very well loved. I love these Koi watercolors, and I honestly think they're better than the Winsor & Newton, which is at a much higher price point. I have a set of the Winsor & Newtons, and I believe I paid $30 for a 12-pack. It is still expensive, but not nearly as much as the Winsor & Newtons, and I honestly think these are a higher quality. There's a bunch more color variety for the same price point, and they blend better, in my opinion. However, if $30 is still too much for you to drop on watercolor, again, if you're trying it out for the first time, or you're not sure that you're ready to commit to that, I do recommend just this cheapy looking little Michaels brand palette. The Michaels brand specifically is what this one is, and again, as you can tell, very well loved. These are not necessarily going to be the same quality that you're getting with the Koi watercolors or the Winsor & Newtons even, but they do still get the job done. They're not quite as pigmented, but they do blend pretty well, and you can build it up to be of the same quality, and I believe it was like $10 or $15 for a buttload of colors. So this is going to be a great alternative for that if you're just getting into watercolor or you don't want to spend that much. Final holy grail supply that I have for you guys is, again, another one that I don't have an alternative for, but it's not expensive to begin with, so I don't really think you need one, and that is going to be literally any circle grid stencil thing. This has helped me so much since I invested in it. You do not know how much you draw circles in your bullet journal until you get you one of these things and you're like, oh, I have literally every size circle I could possibly want right at the tip of my fingers, and it's great. I love this. Plus you've got a straight edge and it's kind of like see-through, so you can see where your lines are, which I'm a big fan of. This thing, I believe, was $7 from Hobby Lobby, and I love it very much. So get you a circle stencil. And that is going to conclude this video. I hope it has been helpful for you in your bullet journal shopping, or has inspired you to buy more stationery to fuel your addiction if you're anything like me. I do thank you guys so much for watching if you've made it this far in the video. If you did, please consider subscribing. I post content like this twice a week. Like the video because it's easy, comment because it makes me smile, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all!